So if you want to get into it, it's a heavy mathematical thing. There is one of the people that's going to be at the practical seminar that's going to be presenting for us is actually he actually has a doctorate in applied math, and I'm sure that we could get together and accommodate a brief session on dispersion theory if that's your cup of tea. Again, I know enough to describe the basics to you. I've seen the basics in action. I would not feel comfortable going full-fledged, giving you the full discussion on it, and therefore I would appeal to a higher source to do that. One of the things that we do to keep the education consistent. So just, that's the long-winded answer to your question. Yes, you can.
Yes. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do you carry those trades, reverse gamma scalping trades, right into expiration?
The question is, do you carry the trades, the reverse gamma scalping trades, into expiration? Good question. You treat the trade as you would any other trade. In the money options, way in the money options, way out of the money options, provided you don't care about assignment, which as your portfolio gets bigger, you really won't care. If that being the case, you're probably at some point, if you think about it, on a reverse gamma scalp or on a standard gamma scalp, if the options are deep in the money, then your long puts are going to be offset by your long stock, your long calls are going to be offset by your short stock, everybody's happy. If the option is out of the money, then it expires worthless. It's when you get close to at the money, which ironically is when you're making the most money on your trade. That's when you actually do need to take action, because the worst thing that can happen in one of these positions is that you get pinned at the strike. Okay? And, we talk a lot about this stuff in our classes about how to avoid getting pinned at the strike, and you start introducing the notion of techniques called reversals and conversions to show people how to avoid getting pinned at expiration. Pinned means that the stock is going to, for example, if you sell the 75 straddle, the stock ends up right at 75. Okay, if you bought the straddle and it's still at 75, we hope you've done something along the way to get out of it, because that's the worst thing that can happen to you, is having the stock at 75 if you're long the straddle. If you're short the straddle, on the other hand, A, it's the best thing that can happen to you, but B, you don't want to get stuck there for expiration, because it leads to pin risk. It leads to not knowing what your stock position will be the next morning. The beautiful thing about options, as you'll see as you'll get to, as you start approaching options expiration, okay, as you start really approaching options expiration, is that very split second before options expire. If the option is 1 cent in the money, it's got a 100 delta, positive or negative, depending on whether it's a call or a put. If the option is 1 cent out of the money, it's got a 0 delta. So what does that mean for your position? Well, it means that if you have options that are in the money at expiration, they're probably going to settle to long or short stock. And you have to be able to count your option units versus your stock units to make sure that you're balanced going into expiration if you have in-the-money options to deal with. So at the end of time, the at-the-money position you're going to have to address and you're going to have to exit. Something that's in the money, all you have to do is make sure that if you're long 10 options, that you have short 1,000 shares to cover that. Okay, so again, it's really easy when you have in the money options. You really should exit the position at some point when you have at the money options. And the neat thing is that typically, when you're sitting right at the money, chances are whatever gamma scalping or reverse gamma scalping you're done, your stock position is probably pretty close to net zero, or pretty close to it. So therefore, there's minimal management that has to be done at that time. So just that's the way to address these positions, is on whether your options are going to, and especially on a straddle type situation, are they going to expire in the money, or are they not going to expire in them, or are they going to expire at the money? And at the money is where you really, even though that's where you make the most money, that's where you really need to be concerned about exiting the position to make sure you don't get pinned and surprised on Monday morning. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Again, Matthew, I really appreciate you having us on, and we'll hope to see you soon.